Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the New Cosmic Knowledge Channel. How is your Friday? Not really a morning mantra today, just a early broadcast, early podcast excellence. We've been going through the Hermetic principles, and I want to continue to do so. We're going to talk about the principle of vibration today. And, even back when I was doing some of the programs about the spiritual laws with Sandra, it never sat well with me. I didn't like this whole idea that there's spiritual laws, because when you think about it, laws are given by a lawgiver. Laws are instituted by a judicial authority. And the reality is that the principles of the universe have nothing to do with any judicial body. So that term laws, spiritual laws, just never sat well with me. And when Wayne Steiger put me onto the Hermetic principles, that really resonated with me. And we've been going through these Hermetic principles, and we'll continue to do so today as we move into the principle of vibration. And to me, this is so powerful, and it contains such a great secret that really isn't a secret. It should be readily apparent to us, but sometimes we're just a little dense. Sometimes we're just a little slow. And maybe it's because we're trying to show and put on airs. And when I go through things afterwards, I used to be really upset and really down and cry and all that stuff. But now I sort of laugh, because as I look back at some of the things I've been through, and I realize, dude, you should have known, you should have realized, why didn't you put these principles into practice? And I don't know, I might need to start carrying a little card with the 7 Hermetic principles in my wallet, just to kind of remind me. Maybe I should tattoo them on the inside of my left palm. I don't know, because this one is so powerful, the principle of vibration. And it simply states, according to the Kabbalion, which I just ordered, it says, nothing rests, everything moves, and everything vibrates. And science is confirming this more and more. And with each new discovery, it gets verified even more and more. Nothing is at rest. Everything vibrates. Everything is in motion. And this is modern science, ladies and gentlemen. This coffee cup is vibrating. It's just vibrating slowly. The coffee in the cup is vibrating slowly. The guy drinking the coffee that's holding the cup is vibrating. You're vibrating. We're vibrating. Everything's vibrating. The chair I'm sitting in is vibrating. The microphone I'm speaking into is vibrating. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is modern scientific truth. And yet, this Hermetic principle was discovered and was enunciated thousands of years ago, back in ancient Egypt, where they supposedly didn't have all of these modern sciences and modern discoveries, because, of course, we're the smartest people that have ever walked on planet Earth, right? I'm not so sure, ladies and gentlemen, because if these people back then understood things that we're just now discovering, makes me wonder who the dummies really are. And perhaps dummies is too strong of a word, but the fact and the big point of the principle of vibration, yes, everything's in motion. Yes, everything vibrates. Yes, nothing rests. And the big takeaway from this is that there's differences. There's differences in manifestation between what I call matter, energy, space, and time, what the Hermetics call matter, energy, mind, and even spirit, which is very much true. Mind and spirit, I would put within the space category of my own personal categorization system of the universe. But there's different manifestations of matter. I was just talking about the coffee, the cup. These things probably manifest on a very similar vibration, but things that seem solid to us are very slow vibrating or very fast vibrating. We'll get to that in a minute. But generally speaking, things that seem slow things that seem very dense and very solid to us are of a slow vibration. And I was just hit with this. What do we call a person that is very stubborn? What do we call a person that's very immovable? What do we call a person that doesn't want to see anything other than what they see? We call them dense, don't we? Are we tuning into some spiritual principles of vibration that we don't even realize we're tuning into just in our colloquial language of everyday life? But matter, energy, mind, spirit, the differences in those things are differences pretty much of vibration. And the all, the illimitable, the unknowable, the ineffable ones, Father God, Mother God, the divine, pure spirit is of a certain vibration, down to the grossest, most base desk, chair. They're all vibration. And it's just a difference in position on the vibration scale, ladies and gentlemen. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it's practically at rest. Whenever I was talking about things that are really high, look like they're at rest. Think about a wheel that's moving really fast. It looks like it's standing still. So sometimes things that are moving really, really fast seem to be motionless. And at the other end of the scale, things that are moving really, really slow seem to be at rest. And the truth and the work is between these poles, because there's millions and millions of varying degrees of vibration, even from the corpuscles in our blood to the electrons that make us up, all the way to worlds and universes, ladies and gentlemen. Every single thing is in vibration. It's all in vibratory motion. And here's something I really want to key in on today, because this is something that, the principle of vibration, it's kind of high level. It's a little woo-woo, but this is something we can take and we can put into practice. I was going to say whenever we're around anyone, but even when we're around just us, if you're just hanging out with me, myself, and I, and you can put this into practice, because on the planes of energy and force, and on the mental planes, and even on the spiritual planes, we can begin to recognize, understand, realize, and choose what vibrations that we want to be in what vibrations that we want to be associated with. We can, once we begin to learn these Hermetic truths, we can control our own vibrations, and we can control the vibrations of those we want to be around by being able to detect their vibrations. And, ladies and gentlemen, should we choose to, we can even control and alter the mental vibrations of other people. Now that gets into an interesting area. And boy, I just wish I'd have known some things then that I know now. It would have been fun. It would have been interesting. And, it's funny. We don't like to have things in our life that are difficult, quote unquote. We don't like to have things in our life that causes problems, quote unquote. When else do you ever really get to know if the stuff you believe works, unless you test it and work it and use it in a real world environment? And my life is pretty devoid of drama. My life is pretty, and someone's laughing their head off somewhere. My life is pretty devoid of difficulty and in problems. I've had my moments, and some of those moments I was too wrapped up into to be able to step back and say, I wonder if this transmutation principle would work. I wonder if this vibration principle would work. And hopefully I'm not going to get into any more dramatic and difficult and problematic situations. Right. But next time I do, if I do, which I hope I don't, I hope to be able to keep my wits about me and be able to test out in a real world environment some of these principles and things that I hold to believe. But The masters, the Hermetic masters, you talk about changing the weather and causing rain and not causing rain and stopping this and stopping that. Everything's vibration, ladies and gentlemen. And then the masters learn to apply this principle, the conquering of natural phenomenon, so much so that one of the great sayings is that he who understands the principle of vibration, or she who understands the principle of vibration, has grasped the scepter of power. Scepter like a king holds, scepter like a queen holds, the symbol that's emblematic of power. And think of it this way. If you can learn to objectively evaluate your own vibration, where am I at right now? Where am I vibing? How am I feeling? You can learn to evaluate and identify where you are. Am I low? Am I high? Am I okay? Where am I vibrating? And then you begin to say, where do I want to vibrate? And you can, with your own will, change your state. I'm big on neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a certified master practitioner. And I know how to change states mentally, emotionally, but we can also change our state mentally and emotionally, which is good, but we can change our state vibrationally. Where am I? Where do I want to be? Let's do it. That's creating yourself. That's building a life you'll love. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that is the inside job. Let's take it another step. I've learned to identify my own vibration. I've learned to modulate my own vibration to take myself to the place where I want to be. Sometimes I'm way too high, sometimes I'm way too low. And what some of you want to do with drugs and alcohol, you can do it with the principle of vibration. And there's no hangover, there's just a carryover. You don't get high on LSD or ecstasy, you get high on GOD. Well, I haven't used that one in 30 years since I was preaching. But at any rate, you know what I'm talking about. And it doesn't cost you anything because it's freely given, bought and paid for, provided to us at no charge by the universal almighties. So anyway, then you begin to look at the people you're hanging around with. And you can begin to identify their regular vibrational level. Now, we all have ups and we all have downs. We all have good days, bad days. And, even throughout, we can all have a moment here or there. Even I, ladies and gentlemen, even Jeffrey Daugherty, NCK, artist formerly known as the Christian whistleblower, can have a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's hard for you to believe. I know that you think that I'm always this wonderful, kind, level-headed, harmless fuzzball that I am. But there are times, ladies and gentlemen, there are moments, fleeting and far between though they be, where I can have a moment. So I'm not talking about being hyper judgmental on people. I'm talking about looking at someone and observing and objectively evaluating. And I think I'm going to go see the movie, the one with the Venom tonight, because I've been told there's some interesting spiritual parallels in it. I think I will take myself to the movies and maybe take myself out to dinner and who knows what else, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to do that, I think, today. But begin to evaluate people's vibration. Where do they vibrate habitually? And then begin to ask yourself, is that the vibration I want to hang out with on a regular basis? Well, Jeff, you're being judgmental. Well, yeah. And the Christ said to judge righteous judgment. If you don't evaluate the people you hang out with and determine if you're being helped by hanging out with them, then you're stupid. I'm sorry, I know that's a cuss word to some of you people. You lack sophistication. Evaluate your own vibration and learn to modulate it and change it to serve yourself and really to serve others, because nobody wants to be around you when you're way down. Nobody wants to be around you sometimes when you're crazy high either. Well, maybe. Sounds like fun. But you know what I mean. Learn to identify and modulate and regulate your own vibration. Learn to identify the habitual vibrations of other people, and then have the spiritual courage, have the spiritual chutzpah, have the intestinal fortitude to begin to evaluate, do I want to hang around with people that are habitually in this particular vibration? Do yourself a favor. And then if we take it to yet another level, we say, okay, here's a person that I do want to be around. And here's a person that does have some challenges in their vibrational reality. Let's say like a child or a family member, not someone that you don't really have a choice if you're going to be around them or not, right? You can pick your friends. You can't pick your family. I know we can go back into past lives and debate that until we're blue in the face, but that's not the purpose of this installment of broadcast excellence or podcast excellence, as it were. But let's just say it's a child. You can begin to help your child regulate, modulate, identify their vibration as well. I remember with my son, he was famous for saying, my sister makes me mad. My sister makes me, do this, makes me do that. And I began, this is when I first started getting into NLP. And I began to have talks with him, and I'm like, son, does she ever really make you think anything? Does she get inside your head? Well, no. Well, then who's really making you think, oh, it's me? No one makes you think anything. No one makes you feel anything. No one makes you do anything. People do present you with vibrational energy that you choose to respond to, but no one makes you feel anything. No one makes you do anything. So put that tired old excuse on the rubbish heap. And don't ever say to me, and don't ever say to you again, they make me so mad. They make me so angry. They make me lose my temper. They make me feel bad. They make me cry. They make me sigh. No, they don't. You do. You pick up on their vibration and you decide to respond in a vibration of madness, sadness, anger, fear, self-pity, etc., 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 ad infinitum. The principle of vibration, y'all, will change your world. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates, including you, me, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your in-laws, your outlaws, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your lover, your enemies, your friends. Everybody vibrates. If you want to take control of your own life, start to understand your own vibration and learn how to modulate, regulate it. It's very simple. It's very easy. Buck up, Buttercup, and then learn to identify the habitual vibrations of the people you hang around and ask yourself, do I still want to hang around with this vibration? And then you can take it to another level and say, hey, I care about this person. Let me help them with their vibration. And you know what? Sometimes, well, let's say my son or my significant other doesn't want help with their vibration. Well, you can do it for them, Are you an alchemist? Are you a wizard? Are you a witch or aren't you? There's nothing wrong with using a little mind judo on people. Well, this would be more like this would be mind judo. There's nothing wrong with someone in a low vibration and you're stuck with them. Let's say you're riding on an airplane and you had a 3-hour flight and the dude next to you is just whack in his vibration. I have no problem throwing my vibration on that brother and bringing him up to a level where he's at least not bugging me for 3 hours. If that's black magic, then I'm a black magician, because I'll do that every single time. because that's 3 hours of my life I'll never get back. Think about the implications of that, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful, be of a high moral quality, but hey, there's reasons why we do what we do. There's reasons why we work like we work. There's reasons why we go the places we go. There's reasons why we do all of this hard work. Why you want to do all the hard work if you're not going to be able to use it and manifest it and and apply it practically when you need to, when you can. Sometimes we do things just because we can, and I got no problem with that whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. The principle of vibration. Jeff style. I don't know how you'll think about that, how you'll feel about that, but always open to discussion, always open to new thoughts and new ways of thinking, and I hope that you are too. I'm Jeffrey Darty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. This is asking questions and questioning answers. This is how you unindoctrinate yourself. This is how you create yourself and build a life that you'll love. Practical stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And it's all the more important because we are the last generation of real humans. And it's time for us to get in charge of our own vibration. And it's time for us, ladies and gentlemen, to decide what vibration we want to be around. And if we really want to change the world, why don't we start changing it one vibration at a time? Just something to think about. But you are the last generation of real humans, and it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to get busy.